In this video, we are going to learn how to extract text from our React application in just a few lines of code. As you can see, I just clicked on an image. If I click submit, as you can see, the text is extracted. And let me show you the picture. It's a picture of a receipt. As you can see, we have this Lorem shop, which we have over here all the way to the thank you for your purchase. If I open back the picture, yes, as you can see that. So this is what we're going to be doing in this video in just a few lines of code. Let's begin. All right, so we are going to be using this API to handle the extraction of the image. I built the API myself. It's free to use for anyone, and I'm going to put a link to the documentation in the description below. So first things first, in order to use this API, we need to generate an API key, which you can do within the documentation under the requirements section. If you come to the requirements section over here, you have this link that says you can generate one by clicking here. If we click on this link, we are going to have a pop-up modal where you are just going to input your email, and this is going to send you your API key to your email address. So I already did that and I've grabbed my API key, so there's no need for me to do it again, but just input your email, submit, and you're going to get your API key in your email address. Okay, now after you've gotten your email, let's head over and create a new React app and see how we can build this image extraction using this API. So over here, we're just going to open our terminal and create a new React app. So Windows CMD, and then I'm just going to cd into my documents directory, and then we're going to do npx create dash react dash app, and we're going to call this img dash 2 text, and then we hit enter. So we're just going to allow that load, and we're going to be back once that's done. Okay, our installation is complete. Now let's cd into our directory and open it in our VS Code. So cd img-2 text, and then I'm just going to run code dot. So this opens my VS Code. All right, yes, here we go. And here I can just close my other terminal. Now, before I open up anything, let's run npm start so we can see our project. Npm start. Okay, our project is rolling up. We're just going to wait for that to see our home page. Yes, so this is what it looks like, obviously. Now let's head over to our project, and I'm just going to open up the source folder over here, and I'm just going to create a new folder called utils, and here I'm going to create a file called api.js. So this is where we're going to put our image extraction function. Now let's head over to the API documentation again. We scroll down, we see the endpoint, and then we see this request example, and here we are just going to copy this code, come over to our api.js, and then we're going to paste this code. Before our async function, we're just going to add the export. So this is exported. We're not going to change anything over here, or actually we're going to provide our API key. Instead of passing it when the function is calling, I'm just going to add the API key over here directly. So I already generated my API key, and I'm just going to copy that. I'm just going to paste that here, and then over here at the top, I'm going to remove API key as the function parameter, right? So we're just going to be passing only the image file to this function whenever we want to use it. All right, cool. Now let's head over to our app.js, and then we're going to scrap this entire code for the header. And here I'm going to create an input that is going to take the image file. So I'm just going to do input. It's going to be a type of file. And right above, I'm just going to create a state that was going to hold the file for us. So we're just going to say img file set img file, and that is going to be a use state value, use state. So then in our input, we're just going to do our own change over here, then e, and over here we're going to say set img file is going to be e.target.files, and we're going to pull the first item. So e.target.file 0. That's exactly what we want. And then down here, we're just going to have a submit button. Submit. Oh, that's supposed to be a button, not a submit tag, if there's ever any. And then this is going to be submit. Okay, cool. Now, before we submit this, obviously we need a extraction handle. We need to create an extraction handler. So I'm just going to say const handle extract text is going to be equal to our function, is going to be equal to an arrow function. And this function is going to be the function that is going to, call this other extract text from image function we copied from the API documentation, right? So here we're just going to import that first. Import extract text from utils API. And then over here, we're just going to do const response is equal to await. Then we paste this over here. Oh, there's supposed to be a space. And this is going to take the image file as a parameter. Okay, the handler needs to be an async function first. And then we can also put a condition to check if the image has been passed or not. So I'm just going to say if img file. That is the only time we want to execute this function, so the function doesn't get executed without the img file. Obviously, for your use case, you can sort of have something like an error handler, so you can say something like else, then trigger an error that displays in the browser. But we're not going to do that for now. I'm just trying to demonstrate how to work with this API, right? Then we just have to pass this handler to the button on submit. So here we're just going to have an on click, and then we pass it to this. Now, we've already created the handler over here, but we are not passing the response, to any value, or we are not displaying it, and we definitely need to display it in our browser. Now, let's just create another state value. So we say set. I'm just going to call this extracted text, and you can see my tab 9 is giving me suggestions. Set extracted text, and then this is going to be a use state value, just like I got the suggestion. Now, if we head back to the documentation, if we scroll down after the request example, we see the response format, and this is what the response looks like. The response has an ID. It has an ID object, a result array, which is an array of extracted text, and then we also have a result string, which is a string of the extracted text, right? So this is the one we're ideally going to be working with. So over here, we're just going to say set extracted text, and that is going to be response. Let's head over and just copy this response, and then we're simply going to say dot result string, just like this. And then here, right above the input, we can just have a span tag. We can just have a span tag that kind of just displays that. So we're just going to open curly brackets. So we open curly brackets, and then we paste that in here. All right, now it's time to head over to our browser and see how that looks like. You can see it looks kind of messy, it doesn't look formatted. So let's just kind of add a quick CSS. All right, I think it looks a little better right now. Obviously, we can't see this extracted text because we haven't extracted any text. But let's go ahead and choose a file and submit, so we will see if we have an extracted text. So I downloaded this receipt from the internet. As you can see, it's a dummy receipt, but it's well scanned, and this is what we are going to be passing to the image extractor and see the result it gives us, right? All right, let's head over, and I'm just going to choose the file. It's in my downloads, and this is it over here. Now, once we've selected the image, we simply need to click on submit. We'll wait for that to load. It's going to take a while. Yeah, as you can see, we have the returned text over here. And if I just align that side by side with the result, Lorem shop, New York, AB, CD2, tel, It pretty much extracted everything, to the last detail. Sometimes if the image is not clear enough, you are not going to see everything, and some of the letters or characters are not going to be actually accurate. But if the image is well scanned or the picture is well taken and clear, this is going to work perfectly. Alright guys, that's it for this video. If you want me to build any more APIs or even React tutorials that may be useful to any of you, just let me know in the comments below and I'll be sure to do that. And that being said, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.